Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is the Black History Month book tag. So I'm going to be answering a couple questions about books by Black authors, and not just books, but some movies and all that sort of stuff. I really wanted to do a month-long tribute to Black History Month and just talk about all these great books by Black authors, but that video concept didn't really work, so I'm going to be doing this book tag instead because I saw a bunch of people participating and I thought it would be a fun tribute to do for Black History Month, even though it is the end of February. Better late than never. So the original creator of this tag will be linked in the description below. They are a fabulous Black German creator, and I just found their channel through this tag, and I hope you guys check them out. So there are 7 questions, and let's just dive right in. The first question is, what is a book everyone should be reading for Black History Month? In parentheses, give 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction. And so my obvious answer, I won't shut up about this book, my fiction recommendation has to be Kindred by Octavia E. Butler, or any book by Octavia E. Butler, and I just absolutely think Kindred is a must-read for everyone and everyone. So that is my fiction recommendation. My nonfiction recommendation is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now this is a nonfiction book where the author is kind of writing to his son about what it's like to be Black in America and his worries and fears and hopes for his son growing up in America. It's kind of a tough read, but it is short, and I think it is important for everyone to read and read Black voices and hear what the truth really is about what the experience is like, you know, growing up Black in America, especially if that's not your experience. The second question is, which Black booktuber would you recommend watching and why? Now, of course, I can't just pick one person for this. I have a whole list, so I'll try to go through all of my favorite Black booktubers really quickly. So first, Starla from Starla Reads. I am obsessed with Starla's vlogs. I think Starla does a fantastic job vlogging, and every time she posts a vlog, I instantly click on it. I just absolutely love her. And she also has really similar reading tastes to me in the sci-fi genre. So whenever I'm looking for a sci-fi book, I always turn to Starla for sci-fi recommendations. Also, I would really like to read more manga. And Starla also reads quite a bit of manga. So if you're looking for manga or sci-fi recommendations, I highly recommend checking out Starla. She also has fantastic lipsticks, and she's kind of an icon for me who also loves lipstick. So shout out to Starla. Another great Black booktuber is Jessie over at Bowties and Books. Now, Jessie is hosting a month-long Black History Month readathon, which is called Blackathon, and I really wanted to participate, but it just didn't work out, and I didn't get the right books from the library. But Jessie has put in so much work hosting this incredible readathon, and I will highly encourage you to check them out for that. But also, Jessie kind of reads a wide variety of genres, I would say. Primarily sci-fi and fantasy, but also mixing in some literary fiction and even some children's books in there too. So I'd say Jessie's kind of a variety reader. I really enjoy Jessie's Black Girl Magic vlogs, which are vlogs specifically dedicated to books featuring Black girls. And Jessie talks about not just it's important to have Black girls represented in books, but they dissect that representation in those books, and if it's a positive or a negative representation of Black girls. So I really think that that is such a cool concept for a vlog series, and I really think that they're awesome for it. Also, Jessie has fantastic fashion sense, and It's right in the name, Bow Ties and Books. They have amazing bow ties and a wonderful sense of fashion, and you know, they're iconic. So I absolutely love Jessie. And my last booktuber I'm gonna talk about, so the video isn't 50 minutes long, is Joel over at Fictional Fates. Joel started his booktube channel last summer, and he is already super popular, and the quality of his videos right from the beginning was stellar. Like, his editing and his thumbnails have been on point from his very first video, and I just really admire him for that. And he has such great presence on Instagram and Twitter, and you know, he just started and he's already, you know, super successful, and I just really look up to him for that. He also has a vlogging series where he reads like a whole series in a weekend, and then he talks about his reading experience and reactions, and I love that type of reading vlog and review style. I myself have been trying to, you know, emulate that to an extent. I like to talk about a series as a whole, but I really like the way that Joel does that by like showing you his live reactions to the books that he's reading and kind of talking about these books that he's reading in like this short time period so you can get all of his thoughts right away. So I really appreciate Joel for that. Joel also reads a lot of young adult fantasy and sci-fi, and he's also getting into romance, so his reading tastes really align with mine as well. And also, Joel is just a lovely person, and he just is an icon. I just really like Joel's channel and his aesthetic and everything that he does in his videos, and I really admire him for the aesthetic and the editing quality of all of his videos. So those are just some of my favorite Black booktubers. There are so many out there, but these are just the three I had to, as quickly as possible, talk about. Question 3 is, what is your favorite book written by a Black author from an African country? So of course I can't just say one. I have to bring up 2 books, but I'll say them fairly quickly. The first one is Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a sci-fi novella, and I've talked about this in the past, in a past video. I just think Binti is quite emotional and a really powerful sci-fi read for such a short novella, and Nnedi Okorafor is, I believe, Nigerian. And the other book I want to talk about is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi, and Pet is, I'd say, like a middle grade to younger young adult fantasy book about a trans girl who is kind of battling a monster, and no one really believes her that this monster exists. And this book is super emotional. I just immediately fell in love with Akwaeke Emezi's storytelling method, and just absolutely fell in love with their characters, and just really, you know, and I just think this is such a fantastic book for all ages, not just younger readers, but I'm an adult and I found this incredibly powerful. So those are my 2 books that are my favorite books written by Black authors from African countries. Question 4, what is your favorite Black classic? Now, I'm not much of a classics reader. However, I do have 2 that I want to point out. One is Passing by Nella Larson. I actually own a copy. And this is obviously a book I read in college, you know, many years ago, but honestly, I still think about this book to this day. That is how impactful this little short novella is to me. I found the writing to be beautiful, the ending is trippy, and it really explores the concept of passing for white, and what does it mean to be Black in America, and embracing your Blackness versus shying away from that. And I think this is a really powerful classic for that reason. The other classic I want to mention is Raisin in the Sun, which I read as, it's a play, and I read it as a play back in school But there's also like a movie version, and obviously it's a play, so there's theater renditions of this, and I also really remember enjoying this one quite a bit. It's kind of an insular story. It's like set in a kitchen. Like it really is quite small and focused, but I remember it being quite a powerful reading experience. So those are the two classics that I really quite enjoyed, written by Black authors. Question 5 is, which movie or book-to-movie adaptation or documentary would you recommend watching during Black History Month? So, is it cliche to say Black Panther? I don't know, but Black Panther honestly is my favorite Marvel movie, and I have watched it many, many times, and I love it. And I also really love the movie 42, which is about Jackie Robinson. And of course, Jackie Robinson is also played by Chadwick Boseman. So both of my recommendations are starring Chadwick Boseman. So I guess you get an idea for my movie tastes. So those are my movie recommendations. I think both of these movies are equal parts fun in terms of Black Panther and powerful in terms of 42. Question 6 is, what's on your TBR for Black History Month? Well, I've already said that I'm kind of filming this a little bit later in the month, so I don't really, I have read several books for Black History Month already, but here are a list of books that I hope to read in the future by Black authors. They are Raybearer by Jordan E. Fueco. This is a young adult fantasy. I have This Book is Anti-Racist by Tiffany Jewell, which is a nonfiction. A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and Its Assault on the American Mind by Harriet Washington, another nonfiction. Rosewater by Tade Thompson is an adult sci-fi. The Wicker King by Kay Ankrum. Now, I don't actually know too much about this other than it's written by a Black author and it's gay, and it explores like a toxic gay relationship. And the last book on my list these are just the books that I own. I have many, many more books on my to read pile written by Black authors, but the last one that I have in my collection currently is The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow, which is a young adult sci-fi story. So I have a whole bunch of books, and hopefully you'll be seeing some of these in wrap-ups very soon. Question 7, and this is the last question, is which new releases by Black writers are you looking forward to the most this year? So obviously there are a ton of books coming out that I'm super excited about, but the two that are on the tippity top of my list are Akwaeke Emezi's memoir, which is called Dear Synthurian, a Black spirit memoir. So I fell in love with Akwaeke Emezi's writing when I read Pet a couple weeks ago, and they are coming out with a memoir later this year, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Their writing is incredible, and I cannot wait to read about their life. And the other book that I'm going to talk about is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. This is a young adult fantasy book, and this is a sequel to A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which I read last year and absolutely devoured and absolutely loved it. And I mean, just look at these covers. The covers are fantastic. I ate up these fantasy stories so quickly, and the sequel is coming out in the summer, I believe, and I am so excited to get my hands on it. That is it. Those are all of the questions, and that was the Black History Month book tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic Black History Month reading experience, watching experience, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!